Okay, so ready to start the final setup round for Wreck of the Pandora. First of all, I've thrown pod markers into all the pods. The crew, for some reason, doesn't know where those pods are anymore. Maybe the ship, gets scrambled. It's a living ship and they move around. Or maybe the hit was so bad that this is what happened. Okay, I've got a cup full of all the critters and equipment here. Everything else is mainly sorted off board. These things to mark the status for the weapons. These to mark the status for the various ship systems, and then the overall status. I know nothing about that yet either. Those are all going to be determined at random. Airlocks to the outside, breach markers kept aside. I'm going to go with 3 crew members. Now these crew members start out pretty much completely random, and they start out in random locations. Why am I taking 3? I think it's probably the easiest to play. The solo game, you're only supposed to play 1. I think the easiest chance to succeed is with 3 crew members, because then the critters that show up won't have a particular advantage. This could be conceivably a much harder game. The less crew members you have, you're still dealing with the same number of problems on the ship. Once you go above 3 crew members, the critters get a little tougher, and I'd rather avoid making it a tougher game for the first time I play. Over here, I've set up a sheet for the 3 crew members. I'm going to track their stats on. And then I have space for the specimens. I didn't fill all those out because, who knows, I may not meet them all. So why do extra writing? Alright, so now we start out by generating the crew members. And let's start with the commanding officer here, Nima Stroff. Everybody's going to have the same levels. So what do we do here? 1 die is rolled with the attribute table to determine repair and weight ratings. So let's try her repair rating. And we just roll a single die, no modifiers. I get a 4, which means she'll have a 2 repair rating. Okay, that's pretty simple. We write that over here. And these don't change. And then weight, same thing. I got a 1, she's light. She's going to only weigh 1. Okay. And now 2 dice for impair, shield, stamina, which is going to be tracked over here. Now remember, that can go up to 9 through healing. There's medical equipment, etc., that can allow me to heal. I wonder if I could repair myself. Taking an action, I'm not sure. And what else? Stamina, port, and speed. So we're just going to roll 2 dice for each of them. We'll do her impair first. I got a 7 there. That tracks down to a 5. And you can see this is, nothing too exciting. Now remember, victory points are affected by what I get on these. I'll finish her off. I'm not going to roll both of them, or all the characters that way. A 7 for shield. Gives her good defense. Get her stamina. A 9. That gives us 7. So she'll get a... And, whoa. We've got the down. I wonder what that's for. Because the other side is... oh, maybe if she's dead. Okay. 9 gives us 7. Port. How much crap can she carry? 8. That's a 6. And finally a speed 7, which goes over to a speed 5. Alright. That's her starting stats. And I'll do the same for the others, but I also have to randomize where she goes. On a 1 or 2, she'll be on the A deck. 3, 4, 5, 6. So she'll be in the middle. And then we roll for which pod. And is that just 1 through 6? Yeah. So she can't be in the final pod on the thing. So we'll see where she is. And she'll be over on 3, which is over here. Now we don't know what's there yet. That's going to be determined after, on her first turn, I think. I'm going to finish setting up the rest of the characters and I'll come back. Alright, let's look at the stats first. First of all, health-wise, only the commanding officer got anything at all reasonable. We've got really crappy status on both the other officers. Stat-wise, good attack ability on the science officer, lesser shield. Both new officers got good repair ratings. You can see less combat ability here for the maintenance officer. Everybody's got a low weight. That's fairly likely. You get a 50-50 chance of only a 1. Actually, these are very good repair values here. Port, well, this poor fella, the science officer, only got a 1. He doesn't like carrying stuff. But both of them got a high speed, so they can run away from situations. There's a problem with that, though, because once you're engaged in combat, you're kind of stuck in it. So while you could get away from critters you're not engaged with, if they're already engaged with you, it looks to me like you got to fight it out to the death. Now what's interesting is we have to determine what's in these spaces. The first thing we do is we flip these over. So here we have the med pod. That's going to be helpful. Let's take a look at it. It is a medical repair pod over here, and it's going to allow me to repair crew members, and I'm assuming this is the repair value, that's 7 there, which is a lot more valuable than, say, if I start using my character repairs, the best of which is a 4. I think I can try to heal my own characters using repair skills. You can repair anything with a character skill. You can't repair. Tools have specific things that they're allowed to repair, essentially. Now for this also we have to check to see if there's any stuff there. On a 1 through 3 there's that much stuff. On a 4 through 6 there's nothing else. So I get a 6, that's going to be an empty pod. Over here, what do we have? We have the decon pod, which is also good for healing. And it allows me to do remote control on certain robots if they're discovered. Okay, let's see if there's anything guarding that pod. 5, no, that's empty as well. It's quite possible the whole ship could be empty. Neither of these are important to the system. They're not any of these. So now we start play. And I'm a little pooped already, so I'm going to take another little. Right away, from my understanding of this game, there's no reason to do anything. Not right away. I mean, eventually you have to play the game, but right now I can optimize my situation. And this would be true in any situation where there isn't crap in the pods where I start. So these characters have to do something, right? Well, first is the movement phase. My CO is not completely healthy. No one's completely healthy. So I don't see a reason to go explore. The ship's in no danger if I don't. The only time that there's going to be a problem is once I start finding those ship systems and seeing that they're maybe not in great shape and that maybe cooldowns or the shutdown's going on. So I don't have to worry about it. That's right away a bit silly, isn't it? But yeah, I'm going to have somebody run these bots. They can only do one thing with them. But I'm going to go with the ordering that I set people down on. So the CO is going to jump to this. He's going to metabot, or she's going to metabot herself right away. Oh, this one only has a 2. That's not terribly helpful, is it? That's not very helpful at all. Our own repair stats are as good. So that one's not very helpful. I'm in pretty good shape. I can't get to this until he's gotten there. Being as the only person in good shape, do I want to start scoring some points while other people are recovering? Or do I want to worry about trying to heal myself? This thing's not going to help me at all. So let's see what else it can do. Decom bot, remote control certain robots. I just don't see much use to it. I'm going to run out into this doorway. Okay. Now I've discovered. So on a 1 through 3, there's something there. There is not. That's now an explored space. I've got to try to remember that. No acquisition. And that's one reason to go around. You can pick things up before other people get to. And no equipment to access or use. Now, in the equipment phase, I believe is when I can do things, right? I can repair equipment. So I'm going to try to heal myself. I only have a repair rating of 2. Almost as likely to hurt myself as help myself, but I'm going to do it. I get a 1. That's not good. I've just hurt myself. Great. Okay. Going to the second character, the science officer. He's up here. He definitely wants to heal himself. He's got a repair rating of 4, but there's no reason he can't pop into here too. And he'll make his roll. 6. He repairs or recovers a point. And that can also be seen as just kind of a recovery because you're doing it to yourself. Our maintenance officer, on the other hand, could face a repair value of 7, which looks like it's very helpful. He's going to claim that equipment instead of moving, and he'll start healing himself. He gets a 1. That's not bad because he's got the tool there. We've made it through the first turn. There's no stuns. Cold shutdown can't happen here. From what I understand, there's just no danger to this. Cold shutdown only starts if I find power or enviro, and they're in trouble. So I'm in pretty good shape right now. I checked the rules for Voyage of the Pandora to look to see if the 2 bots, the IMRA bot and there's a scanning bot too, the recon bot, had any special abilities there. I can find nothing. I think if I play that again and remember this, I would add special rules for them, because those are bots that you really don't choose to take. The AMBot has its carry ability, the Specibot has its combat abilities, but the other 2 don't provide you with anything. And that's kind of they become useless. They become maybe extra bots because you can only bring 1 of each with the counter mix if you decide to play with that. I don't see why you would have to. Okay. So we're starting a new turn here, essentially. And, well, our play order stays the same. You might want to shake that up. Modern games kind of randomize playing order sometimes, or more modern games. But anyway, we have the commanding officer here. I feel pretty potent, so I'm just going to march into there. I want to explore and discover new things, and I have some support with these guys that might help me. Doing so, I don't immediately discover anything, but I do get to roll a die. And I get a 2, which means I find 2 things. One of those things is a critter. And the other one is computer communications equipment with which I can talk to the comm device. Now, the next thing we go to is the reaction phase, and for this I have to roll up some stats on that critter. Now I don't roll them all up, it's like in Voyage. This is a blind pig. Now here's the problem. I don't necessarily want to capture him because I have no way to do so. I have no way to restrain him once I stun him. So I probably just want to kill this poor thing. Now, we need at this point to determine its intelligence and its aggression rating. So let's see what we can get. Intelligence is the first number. I have no modifier there. I believe I rolled 2 dice for critters, but I'm not positive of this. Yes. So I roll a 7. And intelligence is that first number, that's a 0. A 7 will give him a 5 here. So we write that down. And aggression is the second number. Blind pigs are a little aggressive. They have a +1 to the die roll. I don't want to roll on the board, but I don't know where to go. That's a 7 + 1 is 8. Gets me a 6 over on the table. Great. Now I'm going to see what happens. He has an aggression of 6 and an intelligence of 5. That's going to put me over on this 4, 5, 6 here. Now what the hell does that mean? I believe I rolled 2 dice. And the lower the number, the less he does, basically. I get a 6. A 6 corresponds with the move event. Move says he goes to the space occupied by the crew member who triggered the action. Otherwise, there's no effect. Okay. And he's not going to pick anything up. It's not bolded, so he doesn't try to kill anything. So he's just there. Now, if I leave this space, and then I'd have to make a speed check on him, he would have a potential reaction. Or if someone else enters this space, he has a reaction. So now I go to the acquisition phase, and I'm going to pick up that comp-com. I am allowed to carry 6 weight of objects. I believe this weighs 2 weight object. That's no big deal for just using. So even this guy with a port of 1 can use that comp-com. Now let's see what it does. May scan, no, there it is. Doubles repair rating of crew member attempting to repair a major system. And he can remote control the comp pod. Now I don't know if this opens up a discovery of the comp pod by picking this up, in which case maybe I didn't want to do this. Major system pod, they look like little cav or armored cav. Alright, I'm going to look this up and see if that communications makes me see the condition of the comp pod, even though I don't know where. Well, I think the answer is if I use it. But here's the problem. I forgot to check the status of the comp pod. And here I again will roll 2 dice against this table for the equipment status. I got a 4, which is it's in red status. So it's not terribly useful right now. And I don't really consider having this thing terribly useful. It could be useful once I get to repairing major systems, but right now my commanding officer is not at full status, and I'd like to fix that. So I'm going to go to the repair table, and I'm going to try to repair me. I have a repair rating of 2, so on a 5 or a 6, I help myself. And I don't do so well. On a 1, I would have hurt myself. Now, during that equipment phase, instead of trying to repair myself, I could have attacked this pig. I didn't have to, though, so I didn't. And that is going to put me onto the next character. Here we have some interesting options. Let's see, who did I make number 2? Gepidus, he's here. Gepidus is not in great shape. I'm a little afraid for Gepidus. He's going to peek in this window. I roll a die. I get a 5. That means there's nothing there. For now, I'm going to put this here just to remind me I've looked in there, because with the pauses I take and everything, I may not remember that, and it's not going to be clear. It's not going to be obvious through my movement that I've been there. What about my MO? He's still in pretty bad shape. He's going to just sit there and fix himself. Now, he's got that 7 self-repair because he's got the Metapod. And the science officer kind of wants to use that too, but he can't while the maintenance officer is sitting in it. And I roll a crappy 1 again, and that gets me just 1 health. And that's a second turn. I'm here with the commanding officer, and I've got to think of what to do with this pig here. We've got the 6 aggression, and the 5 intel. Wow, did I have that opposite last time? I think I may have. No, I was on a yellow roll. 4, 5, 10. It's unlikely he's going to kill anything. He's not really very violent. So I feel like I can more or less ignore him. There may be some danger to just walking into another room, though, and activating another critter. However, I feel like exploring, finding equipment might be of value, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I am going to leave this room and go into this one. Now that creates an activation check for the pig, but I also discover what's in here, and I've found a stasis pod. Now this is cool, I think. Stasis pod repairs crew members, but it's only got a 3 for repair. That's better than I am, but not by a lot. So maybe I just want to keep looking at things. It's the med pod that's very valuable here, and Kelly's got that right now. So now I roll to see what I found in this pod. I found nothing. That's pretty harsh. And now we check the reaction for my blind pig. Intel and aggression. 4, 5, 10 if I'm right. I get an 8. That's a 5. Or that's above a 5, but not above a 10. So I've gotten a movement reaction. The specimen moves into the space occupied by the person who triggered the event, if they don't already occupy the same event. So now it walks in here. Again, it's not really doing anything. It's just following me around, squealing or whatever. Other actions. Does the science officer want to do exploring on this level? Or does he want to do exploring on a different level? He positioned himself to go up the riser or down the riser. But that may not be terribly valuable at this point, in the sense that, well, I could cut off what the commanding officer can see. I don't see any real reason for that. We've discovered some things, nothing too exciting. I'm going to just walk in here. Oh, I forgot to try to heal. Let's try to heal the commanding officer. He can actually use the stasis pod for that this time. That's going to give him a repair strength of 3, so he can't, or she can't hurt herself. And we don't get anything. Now, for the science officer, his repair rating is the big 4, which is cool. And he doesn't get anywhere. And now we're on the maintenance officer, who again wants to up his status. You know, he's not really that bonused. By doing this, he's going to do hasty movement. This is something I haven't done much of, but because there's 2 clear areas and no chance of activating anything near me, let's look up our rules for hasty movement to make sure we understand that we're not screwing ourselves somehow. It's going to increase intelligence and aggression of a creature by 2. But he's not going to trigger any events anywhere. So simply going dunk dunk works fine. He has abandoned the med pod. His 4 healing ability, you know, he's got a pretty good chance of healing himself. But he does not. He would have gotten a point back had he stayed in the med pod. CEO decided to move back into the hall, and a little whistle pig followed it. Actually healed a point this time. Over here, we've got a bit of a painful choice. The science officer is closely followed by the maintenance officer. If I just peek somewhere, the maintenance officer can then take advantage of whatever I find. So I pretty much have to go do something, I feel like. Of course, I could run back to the metapod and try to heal myself. I don't think I want to do that. So I'm just going to run into here. Not run in, but walk into there. And that means we have an opportunity to find things. And we do not. And likewise, the medical officer, or the maintenance officer is going to go down here. I'm going to not cover as much detail. I don't think it's necessary to look at every die roll, although it's a short game. Okay, the commanding officer wandered in here and found the stage pod. What that's going to do, that allows you to repair rigs, armor rigs and enviro rigs, things you wear, and the piggy followed him. The science officer went, the science officer went here and found Mary. And Mary's got a potentially very high intelligence. And indeed, at a 9, it's about as high as it gets. An aggression of only 3. I rolled a 6 on my check. 3 aggression, 9 intelligence. 6 means this parenthesized 2. That's a flea with a parenthesized result. What does that mean? That means that she'll pick up and carry any tools in the space that no one else holds. Now, she'll be going through the random exit. So 1, 2, 3, or back 4. That didn't work. 1, 2, 3. She runs into here. She's probably not going to attack. The low aggression is a nice thing, so I can kind of ignore them until I get more equipment. We don't know how good she's going to be, or any critter's going to be in combat particularly, until you start rolling up those values. And those values, the piggy has +1 for impair and +2 for shield. Mary's got a -1 for shield and no bonus for impair, so she's a little less tough. And now I'll attempt to heal the science officer and go on to the... Okay, a bit more wandering around. The commanding officer's come out of there and is heading to finish discovering what's going on Deck B. So far we haven't found any of the main systems. The maintenance officer is taking things very carefully, peeking through doors and sneaking forward, whereas the science officer has been moving more quickly. He found the land lock. That's just a airlock to the outside. Put this little door there to indicate that it's open if he opens it, but he doesn't want to do that. He doesn't have equipment that would make it safe to do so. Let's see what else we got. I can't think of too much. Nobody's healing very fast. I don't think anybody succeeded this last turn. Mary's been left behind hiding here. She's not really an issue. The commanding officer wandered into this space, and I learned something that I had cheated, and I'll fix that in a moment. But we found an ambot, a decon, com, and a medikit. Now, the ambot and the medikit are both in condition red. Neither is usable. That's 5 weight of things I can carry. I can't carry the ambot. The decom con allows me to control the decom pod, which I'm trying to look to see what that does. I don't have a picture. These are graphically effective, but I don't know what the decom... Oh, there it is. Okay, so the decom pod is a repair pod, which is allowed to remote control certain robots, and it can repair crew members. I don't think I can use the communications to repair myself, but if somebody else were in this room, I could repair them, I guess. I don't know. That is the only working unit. That's yellow. But that brought up an interesting point. 3 things: rigs, weapons, and communications tools, when they're in red status, are taken off the board immediately. So the computer communications is actually back in the cup now. I shouldn't have been able to pick that up. I'm carrying this other crap around. It's not terribly useful to me. I gotta check to see if the pig follows still and stuff like that. Oh, something I did piss the pig off. So I haven't picked this crap up yet. It's just lying in the room. I don't own it yet. The pig, with his 6 aggression and 5 intelligence, and 11 means that I hit the kill result. And that means he's going to come in and attack me. He's not charging. He immediately attacks and attempts to kill a unit in the space. Oh, there's no one in the space. No, he's got to be with me to be dangerous. So he's not even dangerous to me. He's going to stay there. He's pissed off about something, but I don't know what. All right, well, that's safe enough, and then I can make my, I can pick up my equipment, and I'll pick up this crap. The ambot is so broken that it's not really useful. It would be helpful to carry a lot of crap with me, and it would help in combat, but it doesn't really seem like I should repair it. I have this medikit, though. That's damaged. I can't repair that any more quickly than I can repair myself, so I'm just going to try to heal myself. And I succeed in getting one. The one advantage to trying to fix the medikit is I won't hurt myself with it. If I damage the medikit, it's no big deal. Alright, on to the other character. It's time for something else. The science officer wandered into here, and Mary's interested in what he's doing, so she came out to visit. Now he's going to attack Mary, mainly because he's got such a high impair rating that he feels that he can kill her quickly. No equipment here or anything. Let's see how this works out. So in order to actually handle the combat, we're going to need to figure out Mary's impair and shield ratings. I think that's a 0 and a -1 on those. From the 2 bottom numbers on the left hand side. So the 0 will give me a 4 impair for Mary, and I'm going to try to kill her. Poor Mary. And the science officer is one mean dude. Yeah, trying not to curse so much, yeah. 5. It's hard. And she only has a 3 shield. Okay. Shield for critters. Well, I can put this down as a 3 to begin with. I'll just cross it out. It's not like there's a lot of space. Okay. So now I'm allowed to attack. I have a 7 combat rating versus a 3 shield, which puts me on the +4 impair rating. Let's see how much damage I do to Mary. I roll a 1. That only does 1 point of damage to Mary. Now, simultaneously, she gets to come back with her 4 impair rating against my 5 shield. I'm better shielded. She can't hurt me. I didn't do 2 points of damage, so I didn't stun her. I don't think I want to carry her around stunned anyhow, but it could serve some purpose. Alright, on through healing. I can roll that quickly. The science officer, and then to the maintenance officer, who will go exploring. The maintenance officer found was the crew pod. That's got controls for the arrow spot, and he healed himself a little bit, but without the bot on the board, I can't take control of it. I doubt that characters are going to find many bots, but here's the one thing though. If you found a bunch of critters peeking through a doorway, or if you were wandering around outside the ship looking through the windows or whatever, and you might reveal the bots, and somebody near one of these control panels could get control of it. But in general, if there's a working bot lying around, someone will discover it and take command of it immediately, and you can't command it remotely if someone has immediate. Another option is if a character got killed or incapacitated or something like that, maybe a bot would become available. But otherwise, these guys really aren't going to be kicking around. I'm running long enough on this video. I think I'm going to send it up. Wow, just some random 3D action there.